On today's show, Barb and I are going to make Blackberry Sage Pork Chops. Of course, it has a lot of really good ingredients. It has a red wine and balsamic and a beef broth. The sage is definitely one of those things you're going to want to taste. We'll have some mashed potatoes as well, so let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Diabetic Diet Show. And here's Barb with the question of the day.
Do you like butter? If you like butter, click the thumbs up button.
Let's start by getting our mashed potatoes ready. So I have butter that I've started to soften it up. And we'll get the fire going. And that will start to melt for us in the bottom of the pan. Then I have equal amounts of mashed potatoes and water that we'll put in there. We'll go ahead and season things up with some salt and pepper. And let's season our pork chops while we're thinking of it. Just like that. Okay, now once that starts to melt, you can get your water in there. Just like that, and you'll be able to bring that up to a boil in no time. Here's our pepper. Okay, there we go. Let that come up to a boil. Now, for the pork chops, we are going to take our big, huge frying pan here, and we're going to put some oil in it. Now that that is starting to boil, I can take the pan off, and let's get a spoon to stir this with, just to make sure things are mixed up. And then get my potatoes in there. Stir them up. Okay, now these can go on the burner to stay warm. And let's go back to getting our pan ready for our pork chops. Now, the oil is already in there, so we can go ahead and get our ingredients off here. We have butter. We have a Marsala red wine, a pecan vinegar, which is a balsamic. We're going to use some beef broth. For the beef broth, we'll probably use about 1/4 of a cup. You can always use more if you need it, but we're going to start out with a 1/4 cup on that. And then we need our wine. So let's go ahead and go 1/2 cup on our wine. I can read it there. Just like that. And then our balsamic. 3. There we go. And I do have some measurements and ingredients down there where it says subscribe. If you'd like to see more shows or you want the measurements and things like that, they're all down there where it says subscribe. So this is all nice and hot. Let's get these pork chops in here and get them started. Now I'm not cooking them yet, I'm just browning them up. That's good for the first side. Let's turn these over and brown the other side. If you need to, don't be afraid to put more oil in your pan. It's not going to hurt anything. As a matter of fact, here's grapeseed oil. This tends to burn less than olive oil would. Just doesn't have the taste that olive oil, that good taste that you get with your olive oil. Okay, let's let those go for a minute or two. Let's go back to this. Now, I need to put some sage in my mix here. So, it's not much. It's about half of a tablespoon goes in here. I like to kind of activate it a little bit by rubbing it together and warming it up with my hands, and try not to throw it all over the counter. I could put my beef broth in here as well, because I need to measure out about a quarter to a half of a cup of the jam. I'll grab a little spoon. A little bit more, not going to hurt. That looks pretty good. And then we'll watch these. I'll throw the refrigerator stuff back in the refrigerator. Let's check the temperature of these. You know, they're going to be 170 when they're done. Let's get our marinade going now. We'll go ahead and take these out just for the moment while we make our topping. It's a pretty fast meal. Doesn't take long to cook up some pork chops in a mix like that. So here's our jam. Throw that in there like that. Get that stirred in there. And here's our butter. Let's get the butter to melt again. This is a pretty easy recipe. Bring this up to a boil. Now that it's coming up to a boil, let's get these pork chops back in here again and let them finish cooking. We'll turn them over a couple of times just to get them all of the sauce. Wow. This smells great and simple. This was a simple recipe. Okay, that is fantastic. Let's get our potatoes. Turn off our heater. Nice big scoop of mashed potatoes. Right here on the plate like this. Then we'll get us a nice big pork chop. Right here next to the potatoes. And we can get some of this fantastic mix right here on top of our potatoes and on top of our pork chop. Oh, that's going to be so wonderful. And then a little bit more of the sage, just to make it look good. Just like that. It's a quick, simple meal. Definitely delicious and healthy for you. So if you enjoy watching shows like this and you've enjoyed watching it, there's a couple more just like it.